Good morning, everyone. Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. Let's look into that a little bit today. Of course, we feel the thoughts in our head are very personal to us, and they are who we are in a way. We see it that way. And because, culture and the ignorance of our so-called unenlightened intelligence has taught us that our thoughts are very sacrosanct, very important. They really mean something. And so, when thought barks, we jump. But is there really anyone behind those thoughts? Is there a me, really, that is thinking those thoughts? Or could it be that thoughts are just really very random? Really like a moving commentary on life, basically. The experiences that happen to this body-mind. The information and impressions that come in through the senses to this body-mind. Thoughts really are just a replaying of that, a commentary, a moving commentary. So, for example, let's talk about thoughts that refer to sort of the work that we're doing, which is the work of freedom or liberation or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it, spirituality. Well, when we came out of the womb, we had no ideas about this at all. There were no thoughts about it. There was no wondering or questioning. And for me, for example, up until the age of 39, it didn't even cross my mind at all. God, spirituality, meditation, nothing like that had any impetus or meaning in my mind, I was making music, enjoying life, partying. But then when I did get on the path, I started reading a lot of books, seeing teachers and all of that. And then what wasn't there before was now here, which was a plethora of ideas about whatever, liberation or awakening, or call it as you will. And then all of a sudden, those ideas seem so important. They seem to have so much meaning. So everyone that I work with has had long paths, mostly. Read every book that they were ever compelled to read. Did all the practices and everything. And so there were many ideas in the mind. It's very natural. But do those thoughts actually have any meaning or value or importance? To see what we're sharing here together, not one of those thoughts has any importance or meaning or value. Not one. Whatever ideas we have, about this thing called, again, whatever it might be, awakening or enlightenment or something. Not one of those thoughts has anything to do with this at all. Zero. So for a moment, just being here, blown wide open, knowing with none of those thoughts, And in fact, in the absence of those thoughts, what's here is freedom. No thoughts are needed for that. Have a look. And so mind may come in because you've read a lot of books. You know, there's a lot of very important things that we talked about and read. Very important. It must mean something. So you'll be sitting here being nothing, and this is very content and satisfying in itself. And yet, then mind will come in. But what about what I read on page 45 of that Ramana book or something? Is this that? And then if we fall for that little trick of ego to, keep itself alive, okay, Sal, that's very nice what you're recognizing there, nothing, but is nothing really it? Listen to me for a little while, because I have some very juicy information. Well, if I fall for that, then I'm right back there in that carousel. Philosophy, seeking. You, in your essence, pure being, knowing, don't need any of that at all. And yet, because of the habit of mind and the compulsion of that movement of ego to persist, to maintain its existence and dominance, even after we work together, it can be, for some time, that there's the thought, maybe this isn't enough. Maybe there's more. I read about it, so there must be. Well, when that happens, just notice, no problem. What is it? Is it inherent in yourself, pure being, or is it the movement of mind? And notice one thing about that movement of mind. It's not your thought at all. Maybe I should be in constant bliss. Maybe I should be able to levitate or whatever. Those are not your thoughts. That's the book speaking. That thought isn't your thought. You never would have thought about anything like that if you hadn't heard about it before. So that doubt or that concept or whatever that may appear in the mind isn't even yours. It's not yours. It's a book. And so you can ignore that in favor of contentment, peace, freedom, being nothing, all of that, the good stuff. So just know that that movement of mind is just the attempt for mind or ego or whatever to keep itself alive. That's all it is. That's all it is. So don't be fooled. You, source, are free of any of that doubt, question, philosophy, spirituality, seeking concepts. You're free of all of that. Be finished. Why not? Why not? So jump off all of that racket, that carousel, which is just programmed information, not even your own. It's not yours. So what business is it of yours? Tend to your own business, being free. It's good to be with you. I'll be back again tomorrow. Peace.